Perfect. Okay. So basically, I want you to just kind of tell your story, like how you found it works. Did you join on the spot? Did you watch, all the things and just kind of introduce yourself, I guess.
Okay, so my name is Grace Lewis. I think God has actually been like planting It Works seeds my whole life, honestly. Because I remember when I was like 8 or 9, my stepmom was using the wraps. And then fast forward a few years, this girl just graduated high school. I ran track with her. She started doing It Works, and I watched her. She just quit over the summer. No, I guess it would be last summer, but she literally just quit. Like she just had a kid, and she did it all through college. I watched her all 4 years. And then Brooke added me on Facebook, and I had no idea who she was. She added me on Facebook, and I was like, okay, I don't really add people I don't know, but I guess I'll just give this a chance. And I literally just watched. I didn't like anything. I didn't comment on anything. I watched her stories, but I didn't vote on any of the polls. And then she texted me, or she messaged me asking if I would do the opportunity, and I ignored her. Didn't even give her a response. It was just like, no, no. Been watching for so long, been wanting to do it so long, and I just left her unread. And then fast forward like 6 or 7 months from that, I voted on one of her polls. And she messaged me the opportunity message again, and I left her on read 4 more times after that. And then she even texted me and she was like, look, girl, codes are $20, like, left her on read. Then she was like, okay, codes are $49. And I was like, okay, bet, sign me up. Like, I went back and looked like just a few weeks ago, and I watched for like 14 or 15 months, just leaving her on read. And I think the only reason why I actually signed with her was because she followed up. The girl that I had watched when she was in college, I messaged her like 3 or 4 times, but she never followed up with me. And I never signed up with her. And now she doesn't do this business, so that I know that's why, but
I love it. I'm literally dead because when you told me that, I just laughed so much. And I think it's so true though to like remember 2 things. One, that like there are people out there who are watching and they're not liking and they're not voting on polls and they're not commenting, they're not doing anything because like I didn't know you existed until I messaged you to do a host post, I'm pretty sure, and then you did it. And then we obviously talked about the opportunity after that. But that was obviously, I'm pretty sure that was at least a year into you watching me. And so it's just like it's something to think about, but it's also something to think about. And I told Grace this when she first started. I was like, okay, so you left me on read umpteen times. So if someone leaves you on read, you cannot get mad at that. And she's like, okay, that's fair. And so it's just something funny to think about. If you left your enroller on read, you just got to think about that, when you're getting ready to message people and everything. So it just cracks me up. But I really do think that God like brings the right people into your life, whether it's for this opportunity or not, because I had another girl from my hometown that I could have actually joined with for It Works. And actually, funny enough, I asked her all the questions because I didn't know if Morgan would honestly be real with me about it. And so I asked her all the questions. And I literally texted Morgan that I was ready to sign up. I was like, oh, oops. But genuinely, I just felt like Morgan was the person I was supposed to sign up with. I felt called to her. I felt she was genuine with me. She followed up with me. She knew what was going on in my life. So like if I posted something about band, she would be like, oh my gosh, your students are so lucky to have you. Like you seem like you care so much about them. Like it was just such genuine interaction. I was like, wow, like this girl is just truly genuine. And so I signed up with her, and here we are 3 years later. But I guess I don't know, it just blows me away. And I think he like truly puts those people in our life that we're supposed to be with for a reason and at the right time too. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So let's just get into it. Where have you signed your distributors from? Like, what do you feel like works? Because I know everyone has different things. And so I just kind of want to get like your tips.
okay, one thing before I go into that, I forgot to mention it, but my sister also did this business. She asked me to be a distributor under her, and I ignored her. So just keep that in mind too. But with my distributors, One of them that I have now threw up a host to post for me, and then I asked her. I can send the message in the group chat, but it's just the one in boards that says, "Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Did you by chance want any information about the product or what I do?" And she was like, "Yeah, give me information about the business." And so I did, and she signed up on the spot. But every other distributor I have signed has come to me.
I did not even know that, and that makes me so proud. That's so awesome. Oh my
Yeah,
God. So
literally.
do you feel like, what do you feel like it is? Do you feel like it's that you're just really vulnerable in your story? Do you feel like you're sharing like how simple it is to fit it in? Like, what do you feel like it's attracting you, I guess, to them?
I think
Them
it's
attracting
honestly.
them to you, sorry.
You're fine. I think it's honestly that I do talk about my story. I don't necessarily talk about my story so much on my story, but I always say, like, I'm so thankful that I have this business, because if I didn't have this business, I'd be working a second job right now. That's drawn a lot of people in. And then the simple post that that you would give for like a host a post, distributor host a post, where it just says like, "I'm looking for people who want an extra income, paid weekly, monthly, daily," whatever it says, something like that. I literally just threw one up a couple days ago, and I got like 15 potential distributors from it. They all came to me. And then those weren't even all the ones that commented on that post. I had like 5 people just message me directly without even commenting.
That is so awesome. That's so awesome.
I do send I do send the message asking if like somebody wants to be a distributor, but I don't get very many responses from that. Like I said, they've literally all come to me.
Well, I think that's a good point too, is to remember what works for you. Cause like I know even our host to post messages are different, even between the 3 of us. They're all different. So like I send one that works for me, and you send one that works for you, and Emily send one that works for her. And so like I just like I always try to tell people that, like, if it doesn't sound like you, or you don't feel like you'd say it, or you don't feel comfortable sending it, like don't send it, you know? So I think that's something really good to think about too. But I guess going into that with host to post, is that where you're getting most of your customers, or where would you say you're getting your customers from?
I would say like 90% of my customers are coming from host to post, and most of them are signing up on the spot. But I also do send the "would you want to be a product tester" model question out. And I do get a really good response from that also.
That's awesome. So you're asking the people that host post for you about that, like
Yeah,
about being a product
so
tester?
after every time after every time they host a post for me, I send that same message like, "Thank you, I appreciate it so much. Do you want information about the product or what I do?" And if they say yeah, they want information about the product, then I just go in through the scripts. But the message I'm talking about, and I'll send it in Diamond Legacies. It says, I need to make my own boards.
Is it one of mine? Which message are you looking for? Because I could probably pull it up too.
No, it's one that Morgan sent in the Ruby chat.
Okay, well,
It says,
oh, did you find it?
yeah. It says,
Okay.
"Hey girl, I'm not sure if it's for you, but I was wondering if you wanted to be a 90-day product model for me using one or some of our products with my discount. Doesn't take any extra time out of your schedule at all. I came across your page and would love to share these products with you. If you're open-minded to it, you would get a huge discount for helping me out. Would you be interested?" And if they say yes, all I do is send the product list to them.
See, and that's really interesting because I sent that message. I cannot tell you how many times I got not much of a response at all. So it's really just like truly what works for you. And I think like the thing to remember with it is like if you do something for like 2 days and it doesn't work, that's very different than doing something for like 2 weeks to a month. You know what I mean? You have to actually like test it out and see if the results are where you want them. And if they're not,
Yeah.
then you're like, okay, yes, I did this consistently for this amount of days and it's not working for me. I need to change it. So I think that's a really good like perspective to have. But something I want to highlight tonight is you've been in for what, 5 months, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 5 months in, obviously you're killing it. You're about to go Ruby. What like advice would you give to a new distributor? Like, I guess, or even if you have multiple things, like, what if you want to talk about fear or like posting or like, how did you just like go for it? I guess, like, what, I don't know. I feel like I have 10 million questions with that.
So I love that you said that, because like when I first joined, I feel like I didn't go for it. I feel like it took me like 3 months to actually go for it. Because I was scared. I had watched people for so long. I was like, why am I doing it now? And then I just kind of put those fears aside. So that would probably be my biggest tip. And also another tip is, how many of you guys feel like that you lose interest when you ask them for their card information? I picked up a tip. I was on a Zoom with Shay. She said she always asks if they want to if they want to enter in the order, if they want you to. I do that every time now, and there's only been one customer that has said she would rather do it. And I feel like giving them that option instead of you just like, okay, give me your card information, because that would seem a little sketchy to me. I know that's our job, so it doesn't seem sketchy to us, but you got to think about it from their point of view. Would you just willy-nilly give your card information out? Because I know I wouldn't.
Well, and I think something to think about it too is like, because I've definitely heard that, but that's really good, and I keep forgetting to actually like do it. But it does work for me just to ask for their card information. But I think the reason it works for me and that people do willingly give it is because, one, I reassure them that I'm going to delete their information, and I do delete it, and I screenshot or screen video or whatever, screen record me deleting their information to it. So like I have the questions of me asking, but none of their uh responses are there, and so they know that I deleted it. But the part of the reason I think they're comfortable with that is because I'm so like open on my story, like seeing my face and things like that, and I'm constantly sharing pictures about my life and the things I do and everything like that. But if I do have someone that's like, oh, I'm not sure, I literally send them a picture of whatever I'm doing right in that moment, hair in a bun, hair like laying in bed at Walmart, whatever it is. I'm like, hey, this is me right now. I'm getting ready to go into Walmart. And sometimes I'll even send them a video just to show them that I am that person. And if they still don't want to, that's fine, obviously. But that's something I think of why I don't usually have a problem with it. But that's a really, really good tip. So I guess I want to know, because I take a Sabbath like religiously every Saturday, unless it's like a different day, like maybe the anniversary or birthday or something like that. But I take a Sabbath every Saturday. Do you take one? And if you do or don't, why, I guess? And what made you take one?
So I actually used to not take the Sabbath, and it got pretty bad between me and my fiance. He literally came to me and was like, you are on your phone so much, like just get off of your phone. And I didn't even realize I was on my phone that much. So I talked to Brooke and I was like, help, I don't know what to do. She was like, take a Sabbath. And so I take a Sabbath. I mean, it's only been like 2 weeks now, but I take one every single week now. And Isaiah is literally so thankful for it, because I'm not on my phone. And when I take my Sabbaths, I don't even look at my phone, because like I used to get on social media to like scroll whatever to have fun. I don't anymore, because if I'm on social media, like it's for business. And so I
It's
don't get
almost
on it.
it's
Um
almost too tempting to even get on it because you feel like you're going to want to do something.
yep. So I just stay off of it. The only social media I use on my Sabbath is my Snapchat, because I don't work my business from my Snapchat. And so I strongly suggest, if you're not taking a Sabbath, to take one. And one tip like we got on a Zoom a couple weeks ago was, if you feel like you can't take a whole day of rest because you feel like customers are going to leave you, distributors are going to leave you, whatever your excuse is that you're telling yourself, try it like 30 minutes at a time without your phone. Don't even look at it, and then come back and realize everything's going to be fine. Like I had a potential distributor message me yesterday. I saw the message and I never messaged her back until this morning. Guess what? She messaged me right back. So, I mean, I definitely, and it's just good for your mental health. Like social media is we do run a business from social media, and it's so hard to not compare, especially like when you see people in upper ranks or ranks where you want to be at. It's hard to not compare. I've been there. So social media can be that thing to your mental health that just deteriorates it. And if you're working a business from your social media, you don't want that to do, you don't want that. You can't, you literally cannot. Um, so taking that day of rest away from all social media, not having to worry about it, literally it just feels so rejuvenating to my brain.
100% agree. That is wholeheartedly how I feel. And I remember it was I didn't take a Sabbath actually till probably I don't know. I know it was after Granger was born. I don't think I took one before then. And then when I started taking one, it was great. But I remember my husband came and said the same thing roughly to me after I promoted to Ruby. And he was like, I'm so proud of you. Can I have my wife back now? And I was like, oh, I was like, ouch. So that hurt. But it was good. Like, I'm glad he did it. I'm glad that he was honest with me because he was like, you are really like spending so much time on your phone that I don't feel like I'm seeing you. And I was like, oh, that's very true. And this was before we had Granger. And so then we talked and just for an insight, the reason that I feel comfortable taking a Sabbath that I wanted to point out too is that I'm getting my work done every single day. And so it's not like I think, and I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm not saying like the time that you don't want to take a Sabbath, you weren't doing your stuff. I'm not saying that for those people, but I think that's why I'm so confident that I'm like, nope, I'm gonna take a full day off because I just worked my butt off for 6 days. And now I'm going to take a day off and rest. And truly, I do feel so rejuvenated from it. But also, just to, because there are some nights, like whether my husband comes home or he wants to check his Snapchat, he's been at work all day, whatever. And I think it's so good to have that time with each other. And so we're not on social media on those days. I'm not checking things. I'm not like, even on our anniversary, obviously people were texting us, they were saying happy anniversary, all the things. I didn't check those till the next day because I was like, no, I'm going to be with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we do a family night during the week. That's like, it's not a Sabbath, but it's like a mini Sabbath-ish. Like I'll add to my story like once or twice when my husband is home, but the rest of the time it's genuinely off our phones, like family night with Granger. And obviously we're going to continue that as he gets older, but like, we're taking that intentional time to even make up for like the nights where we have Zoom trainings or the nights that we have the content plannings or whatever it is. I like really make sure that I'm intentional with it because the family shouldn't feel like they're the back burner. They shouldn't feel second to your business. And it's gonna make them more mad and it's gonna make you more mad and you're gonna feel like you want to quit. And then like it's just gonna be this cycle and it's just obviously not good. So I'm really glad that you talked about that because I was like, Morgan told me to take a Sabbath, to take a day off my phone, and I was like, okay, cool. So I did it. I'm literally so like anything someone tells me to do, I do it. But I know that not everyone's like that. So that's why I'm really glad that you shared your perspective on it. And so I guess I just want to know like if you have any last minute thoughts, because I know like we all have a lot of new distributors on here that are like, oh, I see people in here, they've been diamond or they've hit this rank or they've done this. And like I think it's just really good to hear from someone that's like very close or very like, oh, how do I say? I like connecting with moms that have kids around my age and people around my age because they're going through some of the same things I am life wise. And I can't figure out how to work that in with the business mentally because my words are not coming together right. But like, I think they're just going to be able to relate to you more when you're like talking about stuff because you're going through some of the things they're going through. So I guess what piece of advice or pieces of advice would you give to someone that's like maybe even a couple months in or even just in their first month? What would you say to them as like an encouragement, I guess?
One, don't get overwhelmed. It's hard to not get overwhelmed because you're messaging all these people and trying to respond to all these people, but it's really not worth getting overwhelmed. You're going to overwhelm yourself, you're going to stress yourself out, and then you're not going to come correct to the people you're talking to, and they're not going to want to talk to you anymore. So one, don't get overwhelmed. If you do, take some time. Go take a nap, go for a walk, just something off of your phone. And if you join this business for your family, which I'm gonna say every one of us did, spend some time with them. They obviously make you happy. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, go spend time with your family. And do your personal development. Do the dang personal development. Like I didn't do it because I was just like, nah, I'm fine. No, I really wasn't fine. Okay. I really needed that personal development, but start out with a podcast. Just do something for personal development because you're never going to grow in this business if you're not growing in yourself.
That is so good. You're never going to grow in this business if you're never growing yourself. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so glad that we had you on, Lane. I'm so glad you shared your heart. Thank you for like being so willing to like just help them out. I really appreciate it. Definitely
Literally
make sure you
shaking the
send
whole time.
those. I'm sure. Definitely send me those scripts, and that way I can send them over to Emily and her team and everything like that. And that post you were talking about, they got you a bunch of potential distributors. And just keep killing it. And I'm just really thankful that you decided to come and help us out tonight. I don't know how to end this. I just like I'm really proud and I'm happy, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm really excited for you to see where you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh wait, I can't stop the recording. Oh well. Sorry. I literally